Greetings. Hi, it's me, Dr. Paul Gerhardt, and today we're going to talk about the difference between technical challenges and adaptive challenges. And organizational leaders at every level must be able to understand the differences. So this discussion really, hopefully, will help you clearly understand the differences and then be able to walk away with some tools, hopefully, that can help you make a positive difference. So really, technical problems in my mind really are when operations are not working right because of systems that are in place. And it could have to do with the technology that's in place or how technology is used or materials that are being used that maybe there's some changes that need to be considered. In our organizations, as we talk about very often, change is the one thing that's got to be constant because we are in a global environment, and in order to make sure that you can maintain the viability of your organization is to make sure that your products or services are meeting and exceeding the expectations of your customers. You never want anybody to leave buying your product or service or not buy it again or even speak badly about your product or service again because that they're unhappy with it. You want to make sure that it's delivering according to expectations, and expectations are constantly changing. I like to think about what happened with Coke. Coke was the number one retailer of soda like it is today, and their CEO had a wild idea of, why don't we change the recipe? Let's make it taste more like our competitor Pepsi. And they learned the hard way that their customers loved that particular flavor, and they had to kind of eat crow a little bit and go back to their original classic recipe. So that was a technical challenge that was handled improperly. You know, they wanted to gain more market share, but that really wasn't something that I don't think was thought through very clearly. So with an adaptive change, what if they'd actually went out and talked to their customers and their employees and to find out, you know, what could we do better? I think that's a real opportunity. We talk a lot about market research in business. You know, how are our core customers feeling about our product or service, and where are opportunities? Where are we losing our customers? And for that point, why are we losing our employees? Maybe sometimes their employees aren't feeling like they're being properly utilized. We as human beings need to feel like we are genuinely valued. And when we feel valued, we can be creative. And if leaders fail to consider employees' creativity, that they're creative beings, they may go somewhere else so that that their creativity and strengths can be properly utilized. And losing an employee can be very expensive to an organization, as we continue to talk about. You know, that it takes approximately 2 years in many cases for people to become as effective and efficient at doing the job of the people that they've replaced. So it's really important to really understand how relationships can make that difference. And supervisors and leaders at all levels really have to take into consideration relationships and do the right thing with people in order to gain the best out of people in those relationships, whether it be a relationship with a supervisor and employee, or with an employee and a customer, either an internal customer at one level or an external customer. Everybody needs to feel genuinely valued and understood. And that's the key. You can't be everything to all people, but having mutual understanding is absolutely core here. So adaptive leadership really leaders need to consider the human element and relationships. So they've got to have passion and be able to provoke passion in others. And you do that by honoring others. And you honor others by understanding others. We all have different nuances that makes us who we are. But when people want to gain the best out of people, they need to really be able to understand people and know what people have to offer. And you get that when you're respecting people and honoring people in an authentic way. In hand with that, leaders really need to consider their service towards their people. How well are people, leaders in different positions, understanding what people need? You know, when was the last time your boss said, "Hey, how can I serve you? What can I do to help you be more successful?" You know, how can we be better as a company? And I think that's a really good question to ask. And when you're serving others, and recognize that your job as a leader is to help make sure that people are adequately supported, you're going to probably find that people feel like it's easier to come to work when they're feeling genuinely valued and understood. And you can do that through acts of service. Great leaders always need to be honest. And I talk a lot about authenticity as a leader. And when people are being honest about what they can do and can't do, and being transparent in what they do, it helps people be able to feel like they are in a safe place to be able to make mistakes and to grow. And when they see leaders making mistakes and admitting it and doing the right thing to make up for those mistakes, it tends to add more of a human element and allow people to be human in an organization, because we're not machines. We're going to make mistakes, but mistakes really are opportunities for growth. And so that's how that should be looked at. You know, how is the culture in the organization? You know, if you have a culture that quickly can fix situations because they see problems as opportunities, that's probably a healthy culture that leaders have cultivated. And they do that by being transparent and honest, and through serving others. But cultures are developed by all individuals in the organization. So that change can happen a lot quicker when you've got a healthy, friendly culture. Bosses don't have to be friends with their employees, but they always need to be friendly with people. And when you're dealing with adaptive change, we all need to make sure that you've got the right people in place to help come to solutions and then be able to deliver what needs to be delivered. And hand in hand with that, leaders need to model patience. You know, take time. It's not necessarily your way. It could, and other people can do things better if people can get out of the way and show, hey, I'm going to go this route, and just be patient with me. I'm still learning, or I'm figuring it out, or I see a better way because I've been doing this for a longer period of time. And that could help gain better results in the longer run. Because loyalty is earned. Loyalty to a leader, leaders need to earn loyalty by being loyal to their employees first, by the way. And if they want people to be able to change and come up with solutions for the needed adaptive change, people need to feel like they're empowered to do so, because they've been treated properly, and that a culture of the organization has been developed to help people be, you know, more of themselves, and to be able to think on their toes and not have to worry about the consequences of making mistakes, because the organization sees mistakes as a natural part of growth. But you don't want to make large company-wide mistakes. You need to be able to look at one system at a time and be able to develop things and test things with incremental benchmarks, and able to minimize the losses, of course, before you blow things out full scale. And you do that by having creating situations where people really clearly see that they have a common purpose. There's a single vision in mind, and everybody is very, very clear on what the goals are and what they're going to do, and then they're involved in the process of making those goals come to fruition. So having a common purpose, common vision really is key. And leaders set the tone for an organization. If they want to change, they've got to make change enjoyable for people. It can't be a drudgery. And so their attitudes towards change and towards employees has got to be light. And people feel like they have the ability to have fun. Nobody wants to go to work and have work feel like work, a drudgery, something you just got to do. If it becomes a passion because you're enjoying what you're doing, because a leader allows you to have fun in your job and they model having fun, probably the organization is going to be much more productive. There's going to be more innovation taking place, and people are probably going to feel safer to be creative in that organization as they find solutions to keep the company strong. So there's my thoughts on the technical aspect and the adaptive aspect of change with a perspective on leadership. Leaders make the biggest difference. So I'm interested in your thoughts. Thanks so much for your valuable time. I really appreciate it. Have a great day.